So I'm not going to lie, I've been very excited since I first saw this watch. And I shipped it to the UK all the way from the United States just to try and get one. And it's the new Timex Worn and Wound collaboration. So let's get it opened up and I'll tell you a bit more about it. Oh, there's two. Nice. So I thought this would just be one of them because the other one is supposed to be on pre-order. But it seems they've shipped them both now. Fantastic. The third collaboration between Worn and Wound and Timex. I bought both of these myself from the Wind Up Watch store. It's the only place selling them, so I did have to ship them from the US. And I'm not going to lie, I was so excited about these. I tried to see if they'd send me one for free. But no, they never even got back to me. They probably don't know who I am. So that's no problem. I'm sure it'll become pretty apparent why I was so excited about these when we take a look at them. I'm just surprised they're both here together. I'll just get that top sticker off each of these. Here we go. These are the WW75 V3. These are a limited edition release. And it comes in two colours. Sunflower, which is the one on the right, and I think it's called Sunset, the one on the left, the purple one. And they might look familiar straight out to the box. They look a lot like some of the Q Timex watches that I've already reviewed. They've got a very similar shape and case, and even a similar dial to some extent, but you'll notice something quite substantially different. Well, a few things. The first one is the dials themselves. Not only are they much more vividly coloured, but they have this texture to them, and I hope it comes across on camera, like a cross-hatch texture that I think looks absolutely fantastic. Now, the previous collaboration watches between Timex and Worn and Wound, I have seen one or two of them before, and I thought they looked alright. These are the first ones I looked at and thought, I need one of them, especially this purple one. I think this purple one looks awesome. And there's your closer look at the yellow one, which also has that similar cross-hatch effect. Now you might also notice another difference between this and the Q Timex, which is also apparent in the price tag. I think I got these for about $190 something a pop, partly because they're not quartz. If I wind this up, the Wind Up Watch store is selling a wind up mechanical watch. Yeah, in the back of these, if it will wind up. Oh no, tell me I haven't got a dud. Oh, you're kidding. Let's. Oh no. I mean, that's definitely fully wound now. The other one works with no issues. Oh, you're kidding me. I'm heartbroken. So yeah, it's supposed to ship with a mechanical movement. Let's see what movement it is. The Seagull TY6 manual wound movement, which is why I was willing to pay more, but something's clearly not right with the purple one, the one I was really excited about. You gotta be joking. Just recompress the crown, and it is dead on arrival. No! Oh, I'm gutted. Well, I hope they still have stock left. This is, I think, the first time in this channel's history, at least, where I've received a watch that's actually dead. Yeah, I am gutted because this thing looks just as good in person as it did online, if not better. But yeah, not a good... Oh. It moved for a second then. But either way, not a good first experience with this YT6 movement. At a certain angle then, it seemed to work. But no, it is perished. But from a design perspective, it is beautiful. Super kind of thin side of the case. The strap is a bit bright for my taste, I've got to be honest. I would have to switch that out. But I love almost everything about it visually, except for the fact that it doesn't work, for God's sake. I was hoping this video would say this is one of the best releases of the year or something like that. Maybe I just got unlucky. Maybe I'm one of the few. I think was the 500 units per colour available. That was it. Here's the yellow, which also looks decent. Much more safe strap option. The dial also looks excellent on that one. Apparently they've been selling more of these from what I read online, even though I think the purple looks better in person for sure. The only thing with this one is I think the hands look quite cheap, whereas the darker colour on the purple one doesn't so much. But yeah, here's the the yellow one. Now, other specs on the watch include, what have we got here? 50 meters of water resistance. It's an acrylic crystal on the top, so it's not like a spec monster, but it certainly suits that vintage illusion. It's only 37 millimeters wide, apparently, so it really does look like a vintage watch. 37.1 I've got it as. I've got lug to lug, 42.6 millimeters, and case thickness of 11.7 millimeters. Well, that's an overall thickness, including that really big crystal. Without it, it's actually extremely thin. Maybe about 7.5. Wow. Yeah, very, very thin. Excited to get it on, even if I'm trying to get over that trauma. Maybe it can get away with this double pass strap because it's so thin. And there's a look at it on the wrist. I think that looks really cool. I mean, these brighter designs, they aren't safe. They're not going to be for everybody, but I think that looks really good. Also, something I didn't realize when the watch was in my hands, the case finishing is quite a bit different and elevated for sure. So you can see it's actually got circular brushing all over the top area, and then it's got a high shine chamfer, which I'll look at closer in a second, which makes it look much higher quality than the similarly styled Q Timex. From memory, that one was either all brushed or all polished, one or the other, but it didn't have the intricacies of this one, and it wears really flat even on the strap here. Even though it passes behind the case twice, it's still quite flush. You just have the big crystal to take into account, but that looks good even on my 6.25 inch wrist. Really fun, and a fairly appropriate price tag too, but they clearly need to improve their QC. How on earth did that unit get through QC? Because that is dead as a doornail. And there is the purple one on wrist, the Sunset. Like I said, I mean, I think this one looks really, really cool. Would have to change the strap though, but with the strap change, this is one of the coolest budget watches I've covered this year, no doubt. One of the best looking, really nice dial as well. They've done a great job with these colours. I'm going to be honest, I'm not particularly a fan of like Worn and Wound or any of these more legacy media establishments, shall we say. So that played no part in my decision to buy this one whatsoever. It was more I just liked the look and thought it could be something unique for my collection. And it certainly is unique. I think it looks great. But let's take a closer look at that case and dial. There's the case finishing. Definitely one of the best finished Timex watches, especially at this price as well. This is better finished than Timex's standard stuff. In fact, this is, apart from the obvious elephant in the room, much better than most of the Q Timexes that I've seen. And there's a look at that dial. Beautiful. Like a grape tone almost. See what I mean about the hands? Just looks a little bit more swatchy, shall we say. I think that cheapens the look of this one compared to the purple. But for the money, it still looks decent, still very unique. Has a more appropriate stock strap, I'd say, as well. I don't think this watch has any luminescence. But let's just check. Let's see. Maybe that'll just... No. It was just the material it was made out of. No lume on this pair, sadly. I'll link each of these in the video description if you want to try them. Hopefully you won't get as unlucky as me in this instance. If it weren't for that, I'd be saying that this was one of the best budget releases of the year, no doubt. Really quirky and distinctive. I think as long as you get like a decent unit, especially the purple one, I think that is a fantastic little watch. I definitely take this over most of the Q Timexes. It really feels like you're getting like a modern interpretation of a vintage watch. Beautiful. But yeah, I better get typing.